Boom shikapow, guys, and welcome back to our channel. As always, I'm Daniel.
I'm Angela.
And we are Sushi for Frickin' 2. Remember it and write it down. Today we're back with another episode of Q&A Tuesday, episode 3. A series where you get to know us a little bit more and a little bit more in depth. So, before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and also crush that notification bell. Also, look at the links down below. Go to our blog, our Instagram, our Twitter, and also brand new, our Facebook page. Angela, are you ready to talk about the question that you so happily picked out and smiling already? Because it's nothing good, probably.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First question. What are you deathly afraid of?
What am I deathly afraid of?
Yes.
Well, that's a very simple question to answer. And the answer to that is insects. I hate insects. They are always constantly coming toward me every time I literally eat anywhere, anytime I step outside. They're literally just buzzing in my face. They're just there. They're either in my ears, up my nose, in my clothes. One time, Angela and I actually went to IKEA, and when I got back home, I literally thought I was bit by bed bugs. And the reason I said that, because I had a whole line of about 20 different mosquito bites. And we thought it was bed bugs at IKEA, but it was actually maybe just like a few mosquitoes stuck under my shirt, just constantly, just stabbing and shaking me. That proves right there that wherever I go, that's where they go. I think there's like a fun fact: mosquitoes can smell you from 20 miles away or something like that. Well, guess what? They smell me from all over. They come from Africa. They come from everywhere just for me, apparently. But also, every time road trips, we would go to rest areas to kind of eat the food that we cooked, for the road trip, obviously. Besides not liking any of that food ever, I hated boiled eggs that are cold and chicken cutlets that are breadings flying out already because it was in the cooler for too long. The second I would sit down, there would be an ant this big, literally on my face, this big, just going through my sandwiches and stuff like that. So when it comes to anything that I'm deadly afraid of, it's insects. Case closed. That's it. What about you?
I'm actually not that afraid of insects. I don't like them, but I'm not that afraid. If there's
I spaz out.
Yeah, if there's a cockroach or if there's something, obviously I'm not a fan, and I do think it's kind of gross, but I'm not deathly afraid. I'll kill it if I have to. I'm disgusted by them, don't get me wrong, but I'm not deathly afraid. If there's a mosquito, ants, whatever, I kill them and move on. I'm not that afraid.
You should tell them the story about what I did with the cockroach.
I had a cockroach in my room one time. And, I'm obviously not a fan of cockroaches, so, I figured, and that's when, I knew that Daniel was scared, but I didn't know that he was deathly afraid. So I was like, okay, well, be a man and go take care of that. And his method to taking care of it was he found a garbage can in my room, he flipped it upside down, stacked 3 textbooks on top of it.
True story.
And he said, when your dad wakes up in the morning, because this was at night, Daniel was, just leaving my house, he was like, when your dad wakes up in the morning, have him take care of this. So in the morning, I went to my dad, and I was like, I need you to come into my room. And he went to take a look, and he's like, why do you have an inverted trash can with textbooks on top? And he moved the textbooks, he moved the trash can, and there was a cockroach in there. And my dad was laughing so hard, and he was like, I cannot believe it. He was like, who did this? And I was like, Daniel did this. And he was shook, and he was laughing so hard for 25 minutes. So.
All right, so she never believes me, but this is literally what happened.
It was a regular cockroach.
It was not regular.
For the record.
It was oblong.
No, regular cockroach. It wasn't.
Abnormal. It had green and gray spots
No, it didn't.
on
It was dark in my room. How would you have seen that?
It was literally green and silver-ish dust type of thing to it. And the reason I put textbooks on it is because that thing was superhuman. It literally moved the trash can. The trash can wasn't big. It was one of those little ones that you probably have in your bathroom or something like that. It's literally this big. It was a Panda trash can, right? So the Panda trash can, it moved the freaking pan, the
No,
trash
it-
can. It was shifting it every little, like it's probably
Oh my
bashing
God,
its like
no, it
super
wasn't.
nuclear antennas into the trash can.
Well, that's why you're deathly afraid. Because I guess when you're afraid of something, it's like amplified.
It's not amplified. It's the truth.
No, it wasn't.
If I've actually picked up a cockroach with a bag once, and that one was not as scary as the one that I saw in your room. I don't even know how it was in your room. We're talking about a 23rd story apartment in the corner of that apartment. You know, like I don't know where it came from, but clearly it was there to kill me. Thank you. Moving on.
Well, I'm deathly afraid of an animal as well. I'm really, well, maybe it's not as bad lately, but I am deathly afraid of birds. I really don't like them. I don't care if it's a pretty bird, if it's a parrot, if it's like a cockatoo, if it's like a woodpecker,
Cockatoo.
if it's a pigeon, a seagull. I don't care. I really don't like any birds at all. I am terrified of them. Birds carry diseases. Birds are just horrible. The worst kind of bird, in my opinion, is a crow. I hate them. Birds are just flying over you and like they poop on you whenever they feel like it. Whoever said it's good luck to get pooped on by a bird obviously just didn't want to feel like a fool, so they said it. I just don't. I hate birds. I hate them. I hate them.
When it comes to crows, we have. I can share two little stories. The first one was that I was standing. We went. If you guys haven't seen it already, you guys can check out our other Q&A. I believe it was episode 1 where we kind of talked about us and how we've met and where we lived. But a little TLDR of that is that we went to the same bus stop and with the same school, obviously. And I was, we had to get up like, in the, I'm not going to say it, but literally in the crack of dawn, 5:30 in the morning, and I was just standing by a lamppost because that's the only light that we had there. And then out of nowhere, I literally feel something just swoop on down on me, and it was just a lovely turd nugget by a deliciously perfect bird that was above my head. It literally just dropped it on me. My whole sweater, brand new by the way, brand new, was covered in this white acidic, like phosphoric, whatever you want to call it. But the second story, actually,
it's disgusting. Oh my
second
God.
story is the crows in our area. They were very territorial and they had their nests all around. So one day, I'm no longer standing by that lamppost. I moved back a little bit, but there was like a little bench underneath like one of the buildings there, and I see Angela casually strolling by. She used to think she was cool, so she was like doing like a walk to it. But the second she got underneath the tree, the crow just went and just went, it's like grabbed her by the hair. And ever since that moment, that's when she had the deadly
I'm terrified.
fear of crows.
I'm absolutely terrified of crow. But it's not even, doesn't stop there. Just any bird. I don't think they're cute. I can't even imagine how people can have pet birds. I will never understand. I do not like birds, like at all. I'm terrified. I'm more afraid of birds than any cockroach or stupid spider. Like, I'll be fine. Snakes, I'll be okay. I'm terrified of birds.
So
like,
we can't get a parrot.
Never. That's my biggest nightmare.
What?
You can get a parrot.
Where am I
You can live somewhere else then.
Wow.
I'm not
You
not
guys
in my
heard
house.
it here first.
Not in my house. I cannot. I can't.
Last and final Q&A Tuesday, everybody.
Yeah, if you want a parrot that bad.
She's kicking me out. So before we move on to question number 2, again, guys, subscribe down below, crush that notification bell, check out all of our social media and also our blog posts. There's too much juicy information there, and it's all at your fingertips for free. And at the moment, our website doesn't even have ads. So go ahead, go. It's flawless. Question number 2, though.
Okay. What's a superpower that you wish you had?
A superpower?
I know mine. I wish I had the ability to read minds. I think about that all the time. I wish more than anything in this world, I want the ability to read minds. It's just not even any mind. It's like, think about how much easier your life would be like if you could read minds. Job interviews. You would know if you nailed it or if you didn't. You would know what they're looking for.
That doesn't make sense.
I mean, I would be like the select few.
You would just pause for 5 seconds to read their mind and answer the question.
No, I would answer the question. They'd be like, in their head, they'd be like, "Oh, this is going great," and I would just continue. Or they'll be like, "Oh, we wish you talked about this." So I'll be like, "Oh, by the way," like I just think that's amazing with interviews. That would work great with your significant other. I think there's nothing more amazing if like you say like, oh, what do you want to eat? They're like, oh, I don't know. It's like, I know you know, so I can hear it in my head because I can read your mind. Teachers, like a lot of crimes could be prevented because like somebody could like, God forbid, I'm not even gonna say anything, but like in an area, if there's like a suspicious person, you can just know what they're thinking, and then you can just alert the authorities and stop it right there. I think that's the most amazing superpower, and I wish I could do it.
So,
have it.
Have you seen Bruce Almighty? That's one of your favorite movies. Bruce Almighty, Jim Carrey, when he was God. Yeah. Do you remember that scene when he started hearing
everything? Okay, I don't want to hear a conversation. I want to be like selective. I know. I don't.
So how do you be selective with that power?
So it's like a superpower, and no, like who is it? There's some other superhero that can read minds, but they don't read it like all the time. It's like I can have a conversation with somebody, but then it's like when I want to know what they're thinking, I like turn that on. Yeah, I really wish.
Turn it on. It's like a flip of a switch.
Or invisibility. No, reading minds. Ugh,
we've seen what was that show again? The Amazon superhero one.
Good Boys.
Good Boys. Mm-hmm. You saw what happened to the Invisible Man.
Yeah. So never mind. What about you? What's a superpower that you wish you had?
I'm kind of stealing this from a show. It was, I don't remember the name of it, but it was basically like the live action version of The Incredibles. Mm-hmm. And, I guess this is the first episode, so it's not spoilerish or anything like that. It was maybe 6 or 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. So they were flying to like on vacation. Nothing was ever working for them. Of course, by the time they got like near the continent and the jungles and everything like that, there's a storm, and then it crash lands into the water, and then in the water there's like these special, elements or jellyfish. I don't remember what it was. Mm-hmm. A long time ago. But ever since they kind of survived that plane wreck and came back home, they all had a separate power. And the son has one power that would be awesome to have. And it was the ability to basically learn anything on the spot. So what he did...
What? That's your superpower? To learn?
Hear me out. So this is one way he used it.
I can't.
This is one way he used it. So he had a crush on a girl, and he read a whole book to learn Hebrew in 10 seconds, and he learned the language. He could read. It's just like if he looks at math, it's automatically done within his head. Anything he read, he learned. Anything he looked at, he learned, all within a split second, and it would be in his mind indefinitely. I could literally, I would be able to do whatever and learn, anything so quick and know how to do anything as effective as possible with that brain.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really cool.
Well, just remember, because, our brains, we only use, 10%. So if I use 100%, it's game over.
I don't know. I mean, that's cool.
I'm going to steal the election. I'm gonna be, the dream of world domination will happen.
That's cool, but, you'd rather have that than be invisible, than fly.
I think long term. What are you going to do being invisible? Going through bushes?
No, invisibility, you can be present in situations where, you shouldn't be, so that way you can, gain knowledge.
I never understood invisibility.
I do.
Because, okay, let's just say you're invisible. What if you need to sneeze or breathe? People are going to hear that.
No, but they'll be like, okay, that was weird. No one's ever going to be like, oh, that was the invisible girl right there. They're going to be like, did you hear that? Nah, yeah, I did. That's weird. Yeah, that's weird.
They got to go investigate, and then you got to start running and knock over a vase, and then it's going to be a whole, FBI manhunt.
I think invisibility is good in cases where, you want to, snoop, so that you can, be present in a situation where,
So we have a snoop on our hands, everybody.
No, in any situation. If you want to know something, you can be present and, not really be there, It's really cool. But that's interesting. I'd like to have knowledge as well. But I wouldn't use my superpowers on that.
No, I would have to, because, that means within a split second, I could surpass Stephen Hawking, Albert Einstein, freaking Dr. Tesla himself. I could literally fix the planet.
Dream big, Daniel. Dream big.
That's what I gotta do, baby.
And the last question for today. What do you think is my spirit animal?
Your spirit animal?
Yeah, and
Or
then I'm gonna
my
tell you
own?
yours. No, for
Oh.
each other.
Ooh.
Do you want me to go first?
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
All right, so we've known each other for so long.
Yes.
And if I had to choose an animal, I would say a ladybug.
A ladybug?
A ladybug.
You hate insects.
I know, but this is your spirit animal, not mine.
But you hate ladybugs.
Okay, I'm not gonna hate you because of your spirit animal.
Okay, why am I a ladybug?
Oh, she reminded me of a ladybug. That's why I hate her.
Why am I a ladybug?
So ladybugs are just like these little bugs that are so cute, right? And they're just like, you don't want to, like, I don't even know, like, they just like always, and every time you see it, right, like, you get so happy. Like, when you see a ladybug, like it's lucky to see a ladybug,
Yeah.
So that's why I would say you're a ladybug, because she's 5'2", everybody. So she's small, my cutie pie. When I see you, I get so happy, and you're very lucky. So that's why I would say you would be
a ladybug?
a ladybug.
Oh my god, that is the cutest thing. My answer for you is not nearly as cute.
Well, you better change that answer right now.
Well, that's really cute. But the animal that your spirit animal,
Oh God,
you already know it.
I know it.
It's a lemur.
A lemur. She calls me that every day.
Every single day. Daniel is a lemur. He is a lemur by day, by night. Like, he is a lemur. It's not even a spirit animal. He is the animal. Because he reminds me of a lemur. I don't know how you are, like, in spirit, really, with a lemur. Actually, you are like a lemur. Because I feel as though lemurs are always curious, right? And Daniel is the most curious person in the world. He needs to know who, what, when, where, why, and how about everything. As you can tell, he even wants to gain all the knowledge in the world. So he's a curious little soul by nature. They're these little adorable thingies. He's a little adorable thingy, even though I'm much shorter than him. But they're also the cutest thing to me about a lemur. And, like, I don't say this in a bad way. It's so cute how a lemur kind of, like, pops their head up. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but they're like, huh? You know what I mean? Like, what? What's that? Yeah. Like, it's just so cute. And Daniel...
What did you just say?
Daniel does that all the time, all day, every day. Like, he can be in the middle of something, and if, like, okay, perfect example, I'm studying in our bedroom, and he's, like, sitting at his computer watching, like, a YouTube video with his headphones on. If I sneeze, he, like, takes off a headphone. He's like, what was that? Did you sneeze? But, like, the way that, like, he moves, like, it's just so funny and cute.
I have to be ready for everything. That's why I do these things. So, if I do hear something, I got to be on the prowl.
He is constantly on the prowl. So, like, let's say in the mornings I wake up early for school and, like, he's still sleeping. And, like, the funniest thing about you also is, like, you can be dead asleep. If I say your name, you're up. So, like, the cutest thing to me is, like, when he's sleeping and, like, I do sometimes want to tell him something in the morning, like, don't forget this, or, like, we need to do that or something. I'm like, Dana, he's like, what? Like, it's just, I can't. It's the cutest thing. I hope you guys can understand my passion for this. I call him a lemur 100 times a day, and it's just, I can't. It's the cutest thing, though. And then I Googled it one time because I'm like, you're a lemur. He's like, do you know what a lemur is? And I looked it up, and yes, you're a lemur.
Well, I don't look like a lemur right now. But when I do have a patchy beard, it literally looks like the head of a lemur.
He's a lemur. It's just so cute. Or a meerkat. Remember? I call you either...
You gotta pick one, lady.
There's always one. It's either lemur or meerkat. I guess lemur, but meerkat is also... You know how, like, a meerkat, like, stands with its paws and, like, is just, like, posing? Yeah. That's him. It's so cute.
Yeah. Well, let's just say
do you agree
I won
with that?
this one.
Do you agree that
Mine
you're a lemur?
was definitely cuter.
Yours was better. But do you not agree that yours is you're a lemur?
At first.
I think those are our neighbors.
Why is our neighbors hitting our wall?
I don't know. Okay, wrap it up.
Without further ado...
Thank you so much for watching our video. I hope you guys learned a little bit about us. And let us know your spirit animal in the comments below.
As always, let's try to... I don't know what that was.
I'm scared.
We're getting attacked, guys.
Thank you guys for watching our video. Oh my god, they won't stop. Subscribe to our channel. Check out our blog, Sushi For Two.
Crush the notification bell and give us some prayers in the comments below because we don't know what that
We don't know if we're going to see you next week.
And just remember, there's other previous weeks of Q&A Tuesday.
Okay. Bye, guys.
See ya.